Okay, we're recording now. Okay,
Okay.
go ahead.
Um, so I was saying that I was just asking people that I was trying to just do one a day. And we all know that sometimes you have to take massive action. And I have a lot of engagement right now with my Facebook. So I just made a post on my own timeline and asked, people if they'd be willing to um, let me, post one time on their page. And I think last count I have, I don't know, maybe 25 or so. But here's the thing. Here's what I've learned is that you need to, first of all, I did probably the first 15 of them, or maybe more than that, with the coffee. And I know you said, Melissa, that you get most better engagement with the coffee. I haven't found that to be true.
Okay.
I've noticed the last probably 10, I did the collagen, and I've already got way more comments on the collagen, which is interesting. And maybe that has to do with the age of the person, because I do feel like collagen is the target audience for that is a little bit older. Because let's be honest, people who are younger don't have aches and pains and wrinkles and all those things. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it or not, but I just, super simple. And I kept it very simple. I just copied and pasted, gave them a message to put on their timeline. A few people screwed it up, which is kind of funny, but it all works out. And I only went from a couple of different photos that I've used. So the other thing I've noticed is it has totally changed my algorithm already just since Friday. Did I make my original post on Friday? Either Friday or Thursday. And the nice thing is that people they didn't all make the post immediately when I sent them the message. It's kind of been staggered, which is nice. So it's been a couple every day. So
would you say it's been like maybe 2 a day or more than that? Or it's just kind of varied day by day?
It's varied. And I think the weekend is a little different. Not everybody is always on Facebook as much on the weekend. But yeah, I've had a lot of them actually did it on Saturday, a lot on Friday. I think the most were on Friday. But I'm going to stick with the collagen right now.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? Totally, 100%. Whatever's working, go with that.
Sure. Actually, I lied. I've had 40 comments.
Nice.
It says 79, but that includes my replies.
Nice.
So, yeah. So it's a little crazy. So I'm hoping that, and what I'm planning on doing is everybody that I've messaged and they've accepted my message, I'm going to friend request them as well. Because even if they aren't interested or aren't going to become a customer, I still want them to be my friend and see, the other things that I post.
Right. And you can also ask them if they'll do host to post for you because you don't know them.
Yes. Very good. Yeah. Because, what ends up happening is especially if you aren't consistently adding new friends to your Facebook, what ends up happening is everybody that you're friends with, they've all seen your posts. They've all seen the keto coffee. They've seen the wraps. They've seen a before and after. So you have to, especially if you aren't consistently adding people, you have to expand, and you have to expand somehow. So this is a good way to expand without a lot of effort. Let's be 100% honest, like Melissa and I used to always say, like, if you're doing a wrap party, you're one person one guest away from a completely different network. You know, I go and do a wrap party 30 miles from my house, and I get one person who's willing to do it who lives even 15 miles more away. I don't know any of her friends. You know, that's a whole brand new network. And, you know, let's be honest, there's still people who have never heard about any of this. You know, so you have to ask, you have to be bold. You cannot sit back and just post on your timeline and expect people to respond or sign up as a customer. I'll be honest. So my 5 years is coming up in a month, November 19th. And when I first enrolled, I've told Melissa this story a million times. When I first enrolled, I could put up a post. I could put up a before and after picture on my Facebook. I would have 25 comments, and I would have at least 6 or 8 loyal customers from it. It's not like that anymore. You have to ask people. That's just how this goes. That is the day and age that we're in, because there are so many distributors that have posted on Instagram or Facebook or whatever. People have seen it, but, you know, it goes back to the whole, no one has ever asked them to try it. That's it. Bottom line is you have to be bold.
Right. And I've said this a million times, but I'll say it again. I've gone into wrap parties or, you know, bridal showers, whatever, to wrap people or do some of our products, sample some of our products. And I always ask, have you ever heard about us before or any of our products? And a lot of the times, a lot of people in the room would raise their hand, and then I'd ask them, has anybody tried it? And nobody had tried it. You know, they've only seen it on Instagram or Facebook or whatever. So then I would ask, so why haven't you tried it? And most of them would say, because I've seen it on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, but they've never tried it. So guess what? All those people that posted before they met me, they did me a favor because they warmed these people up for me. And now I'm the one that's going to enroll the customer because I put the wrap on them, or I sampled the coffee for them, or whatever. I'm the one that's in front of them face to face, which, and I'll say this till I'm blue in the face, nothing will replace that. Word of mouth is the best way to do this business. And I just always find that to be true, you know. And even here in Simi, where we have a lot of distributors, it's not a huge city that we live in. I think there's like, 30,000 people that live here, Bevan?
You're so pretty. We have about 150,000 in Simi.
Oh, okay. A lot more than I thought. There you go. Okay. I read the wrong statistic then. Okay, so example, I went to go get my nails done, and I was talking to this girl, a new person that did my nails. And Bevan knows that I've wanted to enroll somebody that works in the beauty business since I've started my business. So I will never get tired of asking. And I was talking to her, and she was here in Simi. She's never heard of this company. She's lived here for like 11 years. And I added her on Facebook because I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen from here. You know, she's interested in trying some of the products. She wanted to start a business. She went to school. And then, like what Margarita said, I heard it in my head because she was telling us when we had a chance to spend some time with her, Bevan and I, she was saying, this Latino market, you're not necessarily talking to the person that came here from another country, but the second generation, the kids that are educated, the kids that know, they have a business mind, they understand residual income, they understand you can have an online business. And that's exactly who was doing my nails, because she was second generation. Her parents came here from Vietnam. She had gone to school at the same college that I went to, so it was easy to talk to her. And then she wanted to start a business. Guess what she studied in school? Business. And then she wanted to start a restaurant. She wanted to start a nail shop. And she said, the overhead's just too much. And I can't do it. And they said, what does your husband do? Oh, my husband and my mother-in-law own a nail shop in Thousand Oaks. What do you do on your day off? I go help them at the nail shop in Thousand Oaks. I'm like, okay, what's your other day off? Wednesday. Okay, let's talk on Wednesday. I'm going to come and sample some stuff for you. But she was very interested. Like, the whole conversation was, she was asking me about what we have, like what and I could see the wheels turning in her head of her like, how can I bring this into the salon that we have? And she's like, oh, well, you can do this part-time, and I know I work a lot, but and she's like already fitting it into her life, and I'm like, oh, please, this has got to be good. This has got to be good.
Yeah.
I was so excited, and I told her we're not in Vietnam yet, but we're in Korea, and we're supposed to open in Japan. And she's like, I just came back from Asia. I took a 5-week vacation there. Lots of people go to Europe, but I like to go to Asia. I'm like, oh yes, this is awesome. So yeah, open your mouth when you're out and you're doing stuff, and talk to people, because you never know where that conversation is going to go.
Mm-hmm.
And this host a post is like, I look at it like doing a party to the 5th degree, because you can end up being friends with people that you would never be friends with, because they're friends of your friends of your friends of your friends.
Mm-hmm.
So
but let me interject by saying that don't let this be the only thing that you do.
Yeah.
Christy made, I don't remember if it was a video or a post recently in Diamond Makers about, that the last few years have been focused on volume and not so much distributors. And I think that there's a lot of truth to that. And I think that you have to have a healthy balance of everything. You have to balance out trying to get customers, trying to get volume, trying to get distributors. Like, don't just focus on any one area, if that makes sense.
Totally. And I'm happy to share my codes. Somebody I was talking to that's going to enroll on Friday, I told her what Amber said in one of the power hours that she did, was she was telling us anybody new that comes in, she offers them 2 codes and says, I know you're new and you're probably not thinking about how am I going to enroll a business partner, but this deal is too good to pass up. So if you have 2 friends that want to take advantage of this deal, I will train all 3 of you at the same time. So she's having people come in 3 at a time, which we know
that's great. That's a great tip.
So like this can happen really, really fast. You can set yourself up for your next promotion by the end of this month. You can also promote if you have the volume to do it, because someone new coming in, have their party, add it to what you've already got going on. We can promote until the end of the year, basically, is what I'm telling you.
Absolutely.
It's kind of crazy what's going on here. We got to take full advantage of it. But let's go back and I wanted to ask you, so how did you how did your engagement increase? What have you been doing to make that engagement?
Before this?
Yes, before the host post.
So, you guys all, I think, know that, I had breast cancer this year. And I think that it's kind of funny how things work out, because I think that there's also been talk, if you will, from the ambassadors about just being more real when you're posting. You don't want your Facebook to be the highlight reel. You can't always be positive and upbeat. I mean, you have to let people see that you're a real human, that you have, trials and tribulations going on. I mean, you don't want to be negative Nancy either. You can post about something maybe that wasn't so positive that happened to you, and how you are handling it or how you're coming out of it. But that is definitely how my engagement has gotten up. I have a short live video that I posted back in August that last time I looked, it had like 6,000 views, because I don't even know, like 100 people shared it. So it doesn't always have to be about this business. It can just be your life, just let people know that you're not a robot, that you're not just constantly copying and pasting posts from other people. Change a post, make it your own, make it about you. Don't just be, you don't want somebody to look through your personal feed and all you do is share things from other people. That's not original. You have to be original. You have to be authentic, and genuine. And that's really what it boils down to. You can't, we all have things that happen. I mean, let's say, for example, you get a flat tire and you missed your doctor's appointment, and yeah, that sucked, but maybe you ended up selling 5 coffees to the tow truck driver that fixed your tire for you. I mean, there's a way to word things so that you can put a positive spin on something bad that has happened. Is that what you were asking me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
So does anybody have any questions or anything? You have to unmute yourself because I muted her
Unmute Alicia
while she was talking. Okay. There you go.
Oh, it's funny because I had it on and it turned off. Okay. It does things by itself. Bevan inspired me when you were talking about your last chemo day and you were sitting in the car crying, and I just went, oh my God. It inspired me to talk about an ex-sister-in-law I don't talk a lot about. She was the youngest of the family, and it choked up still. She was only 18 when she died. And I spoke about her. I said, my friend Bevan, I admire you very much, Bevan. That's what I said. And I said, I decided to talk about my ex-sister-in-law just a little bit, just enough to know, I didn't want to make it super long, like you said, negative Nancy. And just left it short and tell people to pay things forward, remember others, always be kind to them. And it just took me along a different line, but it helped me. And I've learned that whenever I see a tip, I try to use it as soon as possible because else I forget it. And so when Melissa posts something, I'm like, oh, that's a cool thing. What else can I do with that? So yeah, but even lately, a lot of things have been happening with me that I've like really been in awe of. My sister decided to sign up, which she said she would do this with her paycheck. And she lives in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I had a student of mine, an ex-student, ballet student in one of the parks, text me while I was teaching and said, I'm really interested in the coffee. What were you going to do? And then I went, okay. Then I went, wait a minute. I texted her back. I said, how old are you? She said, 18. And I went, uh-oh. So I texted Melissa right away, and she said, yeah, 18's okay. And so we've been trying to find a time to meet between her school and her events and whatever, and my teaching. She's interested in knowing about the company. So she wants to do something. And I haven't had even a chance to talk to her live because we've both been so busy, but it's in the works. The other one is I was last night picking up my medication at Rite Aid, and I had my purse on the table. I didn't realize which way the angle of my purse, because I had the tags. Because when Melissa had tags in her bag, I said, I want to do that. That was one of the first things I did. And that has gotten me people asking me questions. And she said, oh, I've tried those. I go, you have? She goes, yes, I like them. They work. And then I go, who's the person who signed you up? She goes, oh, her name is Nancy, but she moved to Texas. And I went, oh, okay. Well, if you need any help, I'm around. Just look me up on Facebook. You know my name because she took my information on the thing. And I said, if you need any help, give me a ring. And she goes, oh, yeah, and I take the greens too. I go, oh, yeah, that saved my life. So we had a little conversation, and people were kind of hearing us around us. So it's the most unlikeliest places that you can't expect it. And then about the girl then where I was teaching that same day, I went into the office and I complained about a small thing that needed to be fixed or something. And my friend, the girl in the office, I knew her mom used to work in that office. Now it's the daughter working in the office. And she goes, okay, I'll messenger you the message. I'll call Rudy and see if it, whatever, da, da, da. And I'm like, you've been watching me, haven't you? She goes like this. She goes, yes, I have. I admire you so much. I can't believe all the things you've done. And I just like, I'm in awe of you. And I went, thank you. Oh, and it's like, you never know. And age range. This is another girl who's like 19. I'm like, I never expected, here I'm thinking about, 20s and up, and never hit that lower age, even though I do post stuff for kids, like college funds. You want to pay off your college as soon as possible.
Mhm.
And they're listening. They're just really thinking about it. And
Actually, something that you said brought up two things for me. I'm gonna tell you two little stories. So people are watching, and we hear that all the time, and once in a while something will happen and they'll say something to you. And recently I have a friend who I've known her for probably 15 or more years, and she's on Facebook. You look up her profile. I don't think she ever posts anything. Like, her last post is probably 2016. I just thought she never went on there. Well, I happened to run into her in person, and she's like, I figured that she probably didn't even know, that I had been ill or anything. And she's like, I watch every single video that you post. I know everything that's going on. And I was like, yeah, people are watching. And she never likes anything. You would never even, like, I completely thought she was not even active. I thought she had a Facebook profile from years ago and just kind of let it be, So yes, they are watching. And I'm going to tell you a little story about don't make up their mind for them ahead of time. Don't think to yourself, I'm targeting this kind of person because I know they're going to be a rock star, and I'm not necessarily talking to this category of people because I think they're not interested. Because here's what happened to me personally. When I first enrolled, the first person I wanted as a distributor was my sister-in-law. My sister-in-law is one of these people who she owns a very successful salon. She is by nature a networker. She knows everybody where she lives. She could sell water to a fish. She's one of these kind of people. And I thought for sure that she would enroll and she would be my rock star that would take me wherever I wanted to go. Let me just tell you, I think I was in this business for well over 2 years before I could even talk her into being a customer. And that was only after I put a wrap on her for free. Okay. So rewind about 4 years ago, Melissa, I'm doing a party for a girl who was a distributor on my team, who was amazing at enrolling customers. Like, when she quit, I think she had 25 customers or something. And she quit because she was only making $500 a month off of her customers. She never once enrolled a distributor. And she only did this for realistically, probably about 3 months. Another one that it took me probably 2 years to talk her into the business. I go and do a party at her house where I think I enrolled probably 10 customers, and Melissa was at that party. I completely forgot to talk about becoming a distributor. Melissa came up to me as I'm packing up my stuff and says, so how do you do this? And I'm like, huh? And she's all, how do you do this? And I'm like, you mean the business? And she's all, yeah, I hate my job. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I totally forgot to even, that party was crazy. I think I wrapped 15 people by myself. It was crazy. So I probably got a little sidetracked, a little flustered, and just forgot to talk about it. And if it wasn't for her coming up to me, I wouldn't know any of you people. So don't, and to be honest, if I had looked at Melissa, I probably would have never approached her, because to me, she had a successful job. She was, she didn't look like somebody who needed this business, right?
Mhm.
So don't always go after the person that you think needs this business. I spent a lot of time in my business targeting single moms that I wanted to save. And that's great. And I will forever have a soft place in my heart for the struggling single mom, but not every single mom wants to be saved. There's people who, like for me, for example, I had a full-time career. My husband was doing very well in his business. I'm not one of those stories that needed an extra $200 a month. I didn't need an extra $500 a month. But what I did need was something to replace my career that was about to end because I had carpal tunnel. So, don't always look for the person that's on the verge of being homeless. Don't get me wrong, don't cut them out, but we have to be more open to people who just understand business and understand residual income and understand that this is a smoking deal. I owned a salon at one time, and Melissa talking about this manicurist, that was me. I did nails for 28 years and I did very well. I owned a salon for 6 years, and it was torture. It was a lot of torture. It was a lot of calls early in the morning because the toilet's clogged, or who knows, there's so many things that go wrong. And I was fortunate. I made money from the first day. So, I think that sometimes we get so wrapped up in finding the person who just wants $200 a month extra. While we need those people, that can't be the only people that you're looking for. So again, balance, always keep your options open. The checker at the grocery store might not hate her job, but if she's wearing wrist guards on her hands because she's been doing it for 20 years and her hands are about to go, she might be open to something that she can do for another 20 years because she's only 45. She's been doing this since she was 18 years old, but she's too young to retire. So just keep your mind open, listen to people, listen to what they're saying, listen to little things that they say. And, it's also okay to ask for referrals. If this young girl, I'm having a hot flash, sorry. I just had a hot tea. That was a dumb idea. Anyways, if this young girl doesn't work out, Alicia, it's okay to ask her, hey, do you have any friends that I could talk to? Because just because she might not get it, because, let's be honest, you guys, this is not a conventional business. The masses have still not wrapped their head around multi-level marketing. It's still an old school way of thinking that you have to be in Amway for 8 years before you make any money. That's what people think about multi-level marketing. They don't understand that you can make actual real money and support your household doing something from your phone. Let's be honest. When I say that out loud, that sounds crazy. So that's what the masses think about what we do. That's just how it is. So, it's very few people that understand residual income, because how many of you understood it before you did this? I had no clue what it was. I'd heard people talk about it, but I had no idea what it was. And, it's just strive for balance. Strive for not targeting a specific demographic.
Yeah.
Starving college students are great. Don't get me wrong. Jocelyn Yates wasn't even starving. She just wanted to buy fancy shampoo. So
and now she's a millionaire.
Totally comes from a family that wasn't struggling. She probably had an allowance for expenses, but she wanted more expensive shampoo than her allowance covered. So, you know, there are starving college students, and there are struggling single moms, and there are people who are 58 years old and are on the verge of retiring and thinking, well, I'm not going to be able to live off of Social Security because, let's be honest, $800 a month will not get you far, right? So you have to be open to all of those demographics, as well as the people like me who I didn't need this money. I didn't need this business, you know? So just be open to everybody. And you have to ask everybody. And I'll be honest, I haven't always been that way.
Yeah.
You
yeah,
know,
I never.
the first couple years in this business came very easy for me. And it's changed. It's a lot different now than it was then, which is fine. You have to adapt to the change. You got to roll with it. You got to, you know, I was like, what is this story thing on Facebook? Like, I don't want one more thing I have to check or whatever. You know, you have to adapt. You have to learn it. You have to figure it out as you go. But the truth of the matter is that it's okay. I mean, it's all okay. You know, you may find someone, Alicia, tomorrow who does great in their career, but they're bored out of their freaking mind. Like, who knows? You know, you have to be open to everybody.
Yeah. No, well, I am. And, you know, when I pray, I say, God, lead me to who needs me. Please send me people who want to do this business. And
okay, well, that brings up another point. So here's the thing. He may be doing that and you're not recognizing it. Right?
No, there have been times that after the fact, I'm in my car, I'm like, wait a minute. Oh, shit.
Yep.
There have been
I
a couple
should have said this to that person, or I should have gotten out of my comfort zone a little bit more and said, you know, gotten their phone number rather than told them to find me on Facebook, you know, or have them find themselves on Facebook on my phone instead of leaving it up to chance that they're going to actually friend request me. Do you know what I mean? Like, you have to be aware of the signs, because we all have them all the time, but we don't always recognize them.
Yeah, no, a lot of times I get people who don't want to give me their number or their name.
I get that. I totally get that. To be honest,
yeah.
I think that's weird. I don't know that I would give a stranger my phone number. I don't know that I would give them my right phone number, right? But I would totally be Facebook friends with somebody, because I could always delete them if I didn't want to be friends with them.
Yeah.
Right. But at least that gives you, that's a more less intrusive way to be in contact with someone. You know, but
I just say, let's keep in touch. Are you on Facebook or Instagram? Yeah. And then I open my Facebook and I hand them my phone.
And let them find themselves. Yeah.
And if they want to accept me, they will.
If I tell them to look for my name, I said, I'm the girl with the purple flowers next to my face, because that's the only way. There's so many girls with my name.
Okay, so then there you go too. That's a great point, Alicia, because they may have looked for you and they didn't remember what you looked like, or they don't find you and they request someone else. So you have to take the initiative and you need to be more assertive and friend request them.
Yeah.
And it's awkward. I know it's awkward. The whole thing's awkward. But you know what? There's nowhere else that you can make money feeling awkward, for crying out loud, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, we're lucky. We're very lucky.
We have like less than a minute left.
Wow. Sorry.
No, it's fine. This was great. Thank you for being on.
Sure. Got my air conditioner fixed. I'm so happy.
Good. Does anybody else have any questions real quick before we get kicked off here?
No, I think Stacy's on mute.
I'll unmute her. You're unmuted, Stacy. Oh, I think you muted yourself. There you go. Okay.
I love the
Yeah,
fact
sure.
about what Bevan said about everything doesn't have to always be positive on Facebook, because I don't like to put my drama out there on Facebook. You know, I'm very expert, you know, things to myself, but I thought that was a really good point where she said that. It kind of woke me up. Like, I am a normal human being that's going through shit that everybody else is going through. You know what I mean? So that just really stuck out to me today. So thank you.
And you know what? There's a difference between drama and being human.
Right.
You know?
Mhm.
I mean, we all have drama that should not be on Facebook, let's be honest. But you can still be human and let people know that, you know, you don't want to give the impression that your life is perfect now because